Another Nick No Banger.
You just turn this one dial and you're tuned in perfectly. You just turn this one dial and you're tuned in perfectly.
Okay guys, so let's talk about Peter's aircraft Airbus A319. It's a baby Airbus. Well, first of all, let's put out a disclaimer. The reason I'm looking at this aircraft is because so many negative reviews have been posted online, and it kept me thinking, why is it happening? Why Peter's aircrafts receive so much negative press light? So that's why we're looking at it. Essentially, what we do here, we're trying to give a fighting chance to Peter's aircraft, Peter's produced aircrafts, and we'll see. We'll try to give an honest opinion about what's good and bad about this aircraft. So, firstly, take a look at the 3D modeling, outside exterior modeling. I would say all Peter aircrafts, from outside, they look fantastic. The modeling is great. Proportions, detailing is great. If you look closer, let's take a look at the reflections. Here you see. So that's where the problems start coming in, and it's kind of too smooth. All Peter's aircrafts just really smooth surface, and doesn't have texture. It has texture, but it's just really smooth and a little bit plasticky. So there's a issue of the texturing, but if we look at the wheels, they look great, well modeled, lots of details, lots of parts, look great. So pretty much there are no issues with outside modeling. Now let's take a look at inside. At a good light, when the cockpit is sunlit, it looks pretty good. The button pressed and pulled, you can see animations are implemented. So that's pressed, that's pulled, that's great. Let's just cold and dark start. Well, it's not really dark, but let's do it. The good thing you notice, the battery indicators are lit already. Aircraft is automatically connected to external power by default. You won't see it from outside, it's just assume it's connected, and that's why you see indication of battery charge. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we press batteries, press the battery 2, and then we see external power available. Let's press that one. Okay, so master switch. Let's press master switch. Supposed to wait 4 seconds and then press APU start button. Okay, and okay, take a look. I can see APU start process, and you'll hear the sound when APU will start. Let's see. That's one of the areas Peter is proud of. Here we go. So that's a nice touch. It takes certain time to start, which is great. We want in simulation, obviously, we want it to have original timing gappings between systems power. We want to see how actually airplane starts and how long it takes for systems to start. So so that's great. Okay, what if we let's start APU bleed and put strobe in auto, beacon on, seatbelt signs on. That's a nice touch as well. Emergency exit lights. It says off. When you arm it, it will the off sign will disappear. Let's apply cruise oxygen, which is great. Now I can breathe finally. We put on nav mode and wait until on but sign extinguishes, and we do all, and now we set to align our IS 8 minutes. Here we go, we've got 8 minutes to align. So interesting thing about all the displays, and by default they are all switched dimmed, switched off. So initially you don't see anything, so you might get scared if you're used to JAR designs, which got its as soon as APU starts, all displays light up. So this one's different, which is probably more realistic. I'm not sure if it's a frequent flying machine. I'm not sure they do that, but probably they do. Yes, we have to power all of the. Well, that looks like a bug. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bug here. Also, let's take a look at MCDU. So now, if you want to find in this version, looks like there's a bug. So there's apparently half-crossed dim button, and I just assume that top one should be brighten up button. And by continuously pressing and clicking on it, it will power the MCDU. Well, so MCDU. Okay. So the information you see on the initial page, it's irrelevant. It's just information put just for a visual, as a visual clue that the MCDU is powered, and that's you can see things. The database is irrelevant, doesn't support Navigraph or any other. Just supports explain the database, but all the information about this 25th March and 15th of April, it's relevant. It means nothing. So let's press on initial init, yes. And there's two ways of entering flight plan. One loaded and another one entering manually. So we're gonna load it. Yeah, there we go. and open FMS. And so we're going to be flying today from E Echo is G. Jeez. We're going to be flying from Manchester in the UK to Heathrow in the UK. So here we go. Now, when we load the flight and when we assign destination, departure and destination, and now we can enter cost index, which is suggested by Peter is 30. It can be much more. Usually, the higher the number, the higher is cruise speed and also fuel consumption. So we can enter here cruise flight, and what it appears it doesn't allow to enter a cruise flight which is less than 200 apparently. I'm not sure whether it's real or not, but it doesn't. So you can press align IRS and apparently according to Peter it doesn't do anything. It's just a button which is in real airplane, and but its actual relation to the airplane itself, there's no relation. So you just if you want to go to another page, just please click one of the arrows, but there is no another page. So let's go next to the performance. Unfortunately, it doesn't calculate V speeds automatically, so we'll input manually and just do some guesswork. And according to Peter, calculation of V speeds is very complex. So probably that's one of the reasons it's not been implemented. The good news, you can change transitional altitudes. You can't obviously select some runwayness because of X-plane, doesn't seem to support. Takeoff shift, you can't do that. Flaps, you can't. But you can do flex. Differently from JAD Design, Airbus A320. You just have to input number instead of inputting F for Foxtrot and then the numbers. So it looks like it's going to work. Next phase. Okay, and previous phase. Let's go to the flight plan. Now, obviously, one of the biggest complaints about Peter's aircraft is they don't support a they don't support citizen stars, obviously, like a lot of new planes in development. Initially, they don't support citizen stars. Well, yes, they don't, and that's where it falls short, and that's where it falls short. Unfortunately, it doesn't. You can't select the runway as well. So you press on what's supposed to be the departure airport, and it doesn't work. So that's disappointing. Fuel predictions doesn't work. Second plan doesn't work. Right now it does work. So there's two ways of entering ILS frequencies. One is when you close to the airport, you can press on the button next to the ILS, and it will automatically should generate correct frequency. But more reliable way of doing that, just entering it manually. There's some misleading let's say format. If you can see, ILS has different lettering at the beginning, like IWWN/109.7. So you would normally think you would have to enter LS, well, I believe it's a typo, and then followed by / and the digits. Unfortunately, it's not the case. You just need to enter the digits without / anything. There we go. and it automatically selects the LS type. I presume it's what it is. Obviously the rest is not CRS. That's let's take a look. Entry out of range. Okay, here we go. Okay, so CRS is supported. Okay, 0. There we go. Okay, so here we are. So that's MCDU. Okay, so here we go. Our IRS is aligned, and here we go. And the display, which is, if you look at the resolution, it's it's crap. Very low resolution, and yeah, just confusing. It's not the type that is on the Airbus. Definitely not. So that's disappointing. Just looks very dated. Presumably it's like X-Plane 9 type, so it's not great. Okay, so let's do, and oh, need to power electric pump first before everything else. Okay, so the good news about Peter's manual, here he explains what's simulated and what's not. So he goes thoroughly through the normal procedures checklist, and he explains what's simulated, what's not, and sometimes he explains reasoning behind it, that it's not important, etc. Obviously, the two biggest downsides so far are MCDU, no sit-on star support, and missing items, and also the ND display, which is dated, low res, and talking about low res, it's the airplane is actually probably is heavy on frames per sec, FPS more than jet design. It's more taxing. It seems it's not too much, but still, it's not. Considering, by the way, it doesn't have a cabin, because if it doesn't have a cabin, yeah, you expect more optimization in that respect, and it's not optimized as well as it could have been. So it's not great framings at the moment, but because we sit in Aerosoft, so Ilios third-party airport, it's which wasn't optimized either too well, so that's why the frame rate is not that great. So aircraft looks great in the sunlight, and it's really good. It looks like it's like dual color at the moment. Well, there's lots of other shades of grey, blue-grey, I would say. So it's a different book, I'm afraid. So, okay. So let's do next. Let's start the engines.